Good morning,
sir.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the lounge.
How are you?
Are you feeling good? You feeling relaxed?
I'm feeling good.
All
I'm
right,
feeling
great.
relaxed. I've got a lot of caffeine, a lot
Nice.
of different things to
Need
try.
that before the lounge for sure. Well, before we get into a little bit more detail, tell listeners who are or viewers maybe watching a little bit about Halen Brands, what you guys do, what your sort of interests are.
Sure. Halen Brands is a concept that my partner and I started after a number of years of building and selling a number of successful, iconic brands out there like Sensible Portion Veggie Straws, Skinny Pop Popcorn, Ricklin Orchard's Greek Yogurt Bars. We recognized that the extreme value of what we were building was our team. And a lot of the brands that we were building and selling, the team wasn't as recognized to the acquirers, the CPGs. So what we've done is we've built a home where we've got amazing talent in all different types of areas, whether it's sales, marketing, operations, and we tie that to brands that we acquire or invest in so they can tap into all this amazing talent and help catapult their brands.
We want to talk a little bit about that transition because, what are some of the things that you've, learned from the food snack business, and now as we're going to talk a little bit more about OWN, of course, but, what are some of the sort of the things that translate over from the food side that you've sort of seen applicable to beverages and this whole market?
Look, at the end of the day, we're human, and we have to eat to live or we die. And there's so many products out there that you walk around, you see great packaging, they've got connections to the right consumers, the right celebrities, they've got the right functionality, the right price point, you bring it home, and it tastes terrible. And it's the biggest disappointment when you bring something home for you to try, for your family to try, and it doesn't taste good. So the first thing I tell entrepreneurs is it's got to be mainstream. It's got to taste good enough for consumers to want to tell other consumers and to repeat and purchase it. So it's not just about building the most protein or the sexiest looking package. It has to taste good. And that's sometimes the things that entrepreneurs hate hearing is that their products just don't taste good enough to be mainstream.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, OWN is a great example. I mean, that's a category protein, as you mentioned, that I think consumers have been sort of used to maybe, not as taste forward and sort of, okay, we're getting the functionality, getting the protein out of it. You guys, when working with OWN, you guys really honed in on that flavor, and it's also plant-based, which is an important differentiation.
So obviously plant-based is a huge emerging category, and just like when low-carb was a huge emerging category and everyone came out with low-carb products, the reason why they went up and it crashed was that there were so many products that came out too quickly because they didn't taste good. So the first thing my partner and I did is we went to Whole Foods and we purchased a lot of these plant-based beverages, and we couldn't even get out of the parking lot without throwing them out. And plus, it was $5, $6, $7 to purchase these things. So when Jeff and Catherine, the founders of OWN, came to us, we were highly skeptical to try another plant-based beverage. And the first challenge I had was wanting to try it. I loved it. I brought it home to an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they tried it, and they thought it tasted like Nestle Quick, or it tasted like something that they would put in their cereal. And I knew that we had a winner because it crossed over where me as a parent said, wow, my kids are getting greens, they're getting protein, they're getting fiber, there's no added sugars, there's nothing that's going to affect their stomachs, there's a complete allergen-clean protocol to the brand, and functionality was there, and taste. So when I won the hearts of my kids, I knew that that's how I got successful with my other snacks. Now we could take plant-based to mainstream and make the family feel good from taste to functionality and price that they picked the right brand.
Absolutely. And, besides the, allergen is allergy, different things, that's a element of plant-based as well, but sort of what is the difference in terms of the actual quality that we're getting from, say, plant-based versus whey protein, and what's sort of the advantages of going the plant-based route besides avoiding the allergens?
Well, I mean, even when you look at what millennials are looking for today, they're looking for what is also good for the planet. So when you're producing a plant-based beverage, you're saving the planet by using less water. You're not putting any processed foods in there, so from an inflammation standpoint, one of the hottest buttons that I'm hearing today at the show, as well as in the trade, is that people are recognizing that inflammation is the root of all evils, whether it's cancer, headaches, depression, anxiety, that if you remove inflammation out of your body, then you'll actually function at a higher level. And where does inflammation come from? From allergies. So if you can remove a lot of the allergies from food, your immune system is working at a higher level, which is protecting you from the common cold, all the way up to some of the worst diseases of cancer and such as that. So I think consumers want to get off of medications, they want to feel better, and they're recognizing when they're eating a cleaner diet that they're actually feeling better, they're sleeping better, and if we can create a lifestyle brand that has all those functions, I think you win.
Now, talk a little bit about, I'm glad you brought that up, the lifestyle brand. So what are the other trying to, I guess, consumer demographic that you're going after? You talked a little bit about, appealing to kids is certainly a great thing. But how are you marketing this? How are you explaining this to customers?
So only what you need is very simple. We're slashing out the bad and keeping all the good, which is also taste. And we're creating a bottle that looks very premium. It looks like a Swell bottle. It's not calling out any of the medicinal things that a lot of our competitors are doing. We want it to feel cool in your hand. We want it to be a statement that not only a male-dominant consumer, which is mostly what the Muscle Milks and the Core Powers are all about, but it's about a lifestyle, feeling good about what you do every day. Bringing more female consumers into that category where no one today really wants to walk around and say, I'm trying to build muscle or I'm trying to be powerful. I'm actually just learning to live a better lifestyle. And the whole approach to Owen is we're bringing in influencers from whether it's Nike or Under Armour and bringing in a lot of the iconic brands that are in clothing and showing how clothing brands and food brands marry up. So when you walk around with that brand Lululemon on you, there are certain snacks, there's certain drinks that actually look cool or make sense with what you're wearing. And we're spending a lot of time with those beauty influencers to show what you should be pairing with your lifestyle, which is your clothes and your food.
That's really interesting. It completes the look.
Completes the look.
For sure.
Like our Core water, it's the same thing. That bottle is the coolest thing on the planet. And
right.
When kids are walking around with it, it's identifying that I care about what's going in my body and I care what it looks like to the public as well.
Absolutely. The visual appeal is really striking for sure. Now, I want to, you would be a great person to talk to a little bit about, just to get some your insight as someone in the industry about, Whole Foods Amazon deal. Obviously, that was some of the biggest news of this year. Just sort of, what is your take on, I know it's still early stages, but, over the course of the next year as we enter 2018, how do you think that deal is going to sort of affect the consumer landscape, and especially for some of these entrepreneurial brands that are here at BevNet Live today?
That's probably the hottest question, and I
only ask hot questions.
And I happened to be sitting the other night with some of the top people at Whole Foods, and I've asked that question, and the challenging thing is for young entrepreneurs, they really don't know. And they're in this pause position where they really want to get these new innovation products on shelf. They're trying to create an environment where every Whole Foods will feel like the same so that they can do the right programs and promotions that are national, be able to recognize something on Amazon and then also be able to recognize it within Whole Foods. So they're spending a lot of time right now to get both of those companies in the same place so that when they do promote online, you're also not going to hurt the brick and mortar consumer who's walking in their stores and not competing with one another, being more of a unison where you can get the same value online as you can when you walk into a Whole Foods. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little bit more time for them to get their technology to work within both customers, and it's stalling some of their abilities to bring in some of these new exciting brands. But I think when they get it all together, it's going to be a really exciting environment.
Great. Well, I hope we can talk again, have a little checkup on that, and maybe next year at the BevNet Live here in Santa Monica. So thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
Okay.